For all on this globe to hear, I want a braver world. I look around and all I see are people, fellow citizens as well as leaders of the West and East talking about protection. Protection from what? Other people that are also afraid. In a braver world, Putin could have allowed nuclear arms on Ukrainian soil. In a braver world, he could have shrugged and said that this was no problem because no way would the Ukrainian government or NATO use these arms to force Russia to obey to their will. But in the scared world we are living in, Russia could not. In the scared world we live in, Putin would not be able to trust Ukraine or NATO not to threaten him with any military force so close to his borders. In a braver world, the Ukrainian government could have said there was no need to join NATO. No way Russia would try to conquer Ukraine and try to make it more Russian. But in the scared world we are living in, Ukraine could not do that. They did not trust Russia and Putin to not force their will on them. In a braver world, NATO would not need to expand closer and closer to the Russian borders. No way Russia would try to bring back the great Russian Empire in the 20th century. But in the scared world we are living in, NATO could not trust Russia to not try to bring back their previous allies back to Russian values and influence. In a braver world, the citizens, we could have asked for our leaders to promote life instead of protecting us from dying. In a braver world, we could have asked for our societies to bet that things can actually get better and that the threats are actually not that great. But in the scared world we live in, politicians thrive from us fearing that Putin is actually trying to start World War III. In the scared world we are living in, NATO profits from us believing we need to protect our way of life. In the scared world we live in, our news thrives on us fearing Ukraine will be wrecked to the ground. In the scared world we live in, the right thrives on us fearing the evil left is trying to woke men, traditions, and the whole West into oblivion. In the scared world, the left thrives on us fearing the evil right is trying to Nazify and Putinize us all back to the 19th century and oppress any right to be free to love who you want or express any individualism you want to pursue. Here is my sad conclusion. Life don't fly. Fear does. And honestly, I don't know what to do about this. But at least ask yourself, would the world be better off if we were just a little bit more brave? Would we be better off if more of us were willing to bet that aiming for the good life is more prosperous than trying not to die? Maybe it is even true that the only thing worth dying for is the good life. And the true moral stance is to work out how all life is given the best environment in which to do that. To all the people aggressively urging the world to fight Putin, I ask you, is this the altar on which we like the Ukrainian people to die? I say no. Let's be brave and live to live instead of die to not die.